All right, good morning. So we will get started. We're going to be doing the flock of pigeons today, lots of pigeons. So if you have a particular croppage you like to use for that, a blanket, different size block or something, getting that. And then we will start lying down. And having your block. I'm going to put the block under the legs for the moment. As we come down onto our back, onto the mat. And a nice big inhale. Exhale out the mouth, letting go of the rest of the day. Letting your body be heavy into the floor. And you're just noticing any resistance to being heavy into the floor. Sometimes I feel that. I feel like if I just let go, allow myself a few moments of complete ease, that it's going to be too hard to get back from there. I'll get stuck there or something. But not to worry. We won't get stuck there heavy into the floor because we're going to have that block there to help get us off the floor. All right, taking a few more breaths here. And then lifting up, lift and sliding the block under the sacrum, the back of the pelvis, sliding the legs out to straight. And maybe taking a few breaths here, still being a little bit more easeful. Inhale and exhale. And then gently cooperating with the block, making the legs parallel, flexing the feet, reaching through the heels, pulling up through the abdominal muscles. Stretching yourself over the block. Every breath, the front of the body opens up a little bit more, and you get a little longer from the heels out the top of the head. And then one or two more breaths here. And bending the knees. Lifting up off the block, taking that block out, rolling down vertebrae by vertebrae, and then we'll come back up in the bridge pose, pressing the feet down, rolling yourself up, interlocking the fingers underneath or not. A little press down with the upper arm, and breathing. And then rolling slowly down. And we will figure four, crossing the right leg over, making a big triangle. Reaching through the triangle, pulling the legs in. And one more deep breath. And then we will switch sides, crossing the left leg over, reaching through the triangle, pulling that. And one more deep breath on this side. And setting the legs down. And then slide them out to straight. Stretch the arms up overhead. Maybe a little swinging and shifting. And then making your way up, sitting. All right. And then here we are, sitting in Sukhasana with the cross leg. And using the arms alongside, lengthening up. A little more space in the hip sockets. A little more space in the spine. Maybe some swinging. And then letting the hands rest on the knees. Inhale and exhale. Lengthening up through the center, pouring down through the sides. Maybe even a little bit of width to the sides, really feeling that across the collarbones, out the outer corner of the shoulders there. And then let's reach out wide through the collarbones, through the fingertips. Breathing the arms up. Breathing the arms down, then doing like that again, up and down. And then the next time we come up, we'll do the cactus arms, pulling the elbows wide, and then really lift the upper chest up. Going up and over those shoulder blades in the back. Pulling out wide through the elbows, widening your collarbones up to the ceiling. That might be more figurative than actual, but doesn't matter. And then lifting back up, pressing the arms down, and we'll change the cross of the legs. Coming forward and over, breathing across the back of the body. And walking the hands out to the right diagonal. And left hand on the right knee, or left hand on the floor if that works better. Twisting open, turning inside out. And back through the center and over to the left. Reaching long through the right side, right sitting bone and hip pull down and back. And right hand on the left knee, turning inside out. And back to the center, taking a deep breath here. And then unfurling the spine back up on top of the sitting bones. Inhale and exhale. Let's come around onto all fours, kneeling. Just a couple cats and cows. And then we'll extend the left leg back with the toes tucked under, pressing back into the left heel. And maybe lifting the right leg up in hover plank to make that left heel stretch a little, or left leg stretch a little longer. Setting the right knee down, and we will switch legs, extending the right leg back, pressing back into the heel. And picking the left leg up or not. Setting the left knee down, retrieve your right leg. Couple more cats and cows. And then a long pull back into child's pose. Coming forward into the Sphinx. Pulling back with the elbows, with the hands. Long through the center line, coming forward and up. And that width across the collarbones, across the upper back. And coming down, and then we'll take the hands out across from the shoulders, standing on the pads of the fingers in the spider hands, or you could be flat if that's too difficult for the hands. We're pulling up in the center of the palm, and we'll let the chin drop, rolling yourself up, and then really pull the elbows wide and pause a moment there with that pull wide of the elbows. And then continuing down to the floor. Let's do that twice more. Forward, pulling up, pull wide, pause and breathe, and continuing down. And once more. And continuing down. Then pulling the arms into the small cobra, elbows pulling in and up and back, hands come gently onto the floor. And we'll do 3 small cobras here. Inhale and exhale up. Inhale and exhale, lengthening down. And twice more. And then peeling ourselves back up to downward facing dog. And we'll walk the dog or anything else you want to do. And then finding the best downward facing dog of this moment, nothing moving but the breath. And going through the vinyasa, any version. And then there we are, downward facing dog. And let's lift our right leg up. Reaching down through the left heel, a lot like when we were extending the left leg behind us in that half plank in the beginning of class. And let's bend the right knee dog at the high fire hydrant. You can hold here, or we will take 2 or 3 circles with that right knee. Dropping the knee forward, out to the side, up and over, twice more, or whatever you're doing. And then through to the lunge. Bringing the left knee down and Jayasana, the kneeling lunge. And let's take the cactus pull with the elbows and lift the upper chest up and over something. So it's like you're trying to point your forearms, your lower arms up to the ceiling. A little different than the square cactus. A little more vertical, maybe. And then lifting back up. Namaste. And let's go to the pigeon. Walking the right foot across, coming down. Using the block or whatever support you need. Remember, it just has to be the pigeon of this moment. So, and maybe you're sitting a little off onto the hip and more of the running deer with the left leg bent, whatever you need. And then doing that cobra action, inhaling up the front, exhale, flowing down the back. And coming forward and over, sleeping pigeon. And coming up. And coming off the block, and then we'll swing our left leg around into Matsyendrasana with the left leg on top. So we took our back pigeon leg and brought it around and over. And twisting to the left. Inhale, lots of space. Exhale and twist. And back to the center. Disentangling our legs, coming up in the forward bend. And concave back halfway up. And reaching out and folding over a little more deeply. A few more breaths here. And coming up to standing big front body bar. And around, namaste. And then let's come up, big lift up, front body yawn, and diving over. Concave back halfway up, folding over, stepping back with the right leg, and coming up in either the high lunge or the warrior one. And we'll interlock the fingers behind, rolling the shoulders out, lifting the chest to lift the chin. And bringing the arms back up overhead. Namaste down on the center line. And into the floor. And step Well, stepping back to the plank and through the vinyasa. I'm having a snappy tendon in the front of my left hip this morning. All right. And then we'll go around down to the left, lifting our left leg up. And then bending the left leg, dog at the high fire height. And maybe just holding or drawing a big circle with that left knee. Forward, side, all the way up and over, twice more. And a big inhale and exhale through to the lunge. And we'll bring the right knee down and Jayasana. And then cactus arms with a big lift up of the upper chest. And a feeling like you're trying to press the inside of the lower arm up to the ceiling as well. So it's almost like doing the Sphinx pose on the ceiling, but a wide Sphinx. Combination of the giant bug and the Sphinx in the arms. And then reaching back up through the fingertips. Namaste in front. And into the pigeon on the left. Your version of your pigeon for this moment. And doing the cobra action up and over. And then coming forward and over, sleeping pigeon. And coming up. And we'll swing the right leg around and into Andrasana. Important thing, of course, being that it's the other side from the one you did before. And let's twist to the right. Inhale, lots of space. Exhale and twist. And come back to the center. We'll disentangle the legs. Coming up in the forward bend. And a concave back halfway up. Pouring over. Coming all the way up to standing, big front body yawn. And around to Namaste. And then coming back over. Big lift up. And diving over. Concave back, folding over, stepping back with the right leg. And coming up in the high lunge or the warrior. And then we'll bring those arms behind, interlocking the fingers, lifting the chest to lift the chin. And then bringing those arms up overhead. Namaste in front. And namaste into the floor. Stepping back to the plank. Through the vinyasa. Downward facing dog. And 3 deep breaths here in the best downward facing dog of this moment. And let's lift the right leg up, reaching long through the heel. Bending the knee dog at the high fire hydrant. And through to the lunge. And let's come up in the high lunge again, or could be the warrior number 1. And this time we'll circle the arms all the way around and back up overhead. Namaste in front, into the floor, and to the pigeon once again. Right foot walks across. Taking a few breaths in the cobra action. Coming forward and over. And then only if this is going to work out for you, bring the hands wide across from the shoulders, either on the pads of the fingers or the flat hands. So we've got our giant bug arms here. And let's drop the chin, rolling up. Pull the elbows wide and coming down. Twice more like that. And then we will come up, leading forward and up with the upper chest. Coming up. And then if you can, dive the chin and coming down. And then leading up with the collarbones, arching up, a little chin tuck and diving down, and doing that once more. And then just bring yourself down for a few more breaths in the sleeping pigeon. And we will come up, turning to the side into Konasana, the angle pose. Big yawn, especially in the back of that right knee. And coming forward. And then coming up. And we'll just turn to the front of the mat, coming up onto our feet into the forward bend. A concave back, holding on. And then into Utkatasana, the chair pose. Bend the knees, pull the hips back. Lots of lift from the upper middle back to come up into the chair pose. And springing up, front body yawn. And around to Namaste. And let's chair pose again. Inhale and exhale. So we'll just reach forward through the fingertips, pulling back through the hips into Utkatasana. And then the figure four, picking up the right leg. You can keep the arms straight forward here, or maybe bringing them around to Namaste. And picking up the right leg, crossing it over, kind of like standing pigeon. And then setting the right foot down and just pour over into the forward bend. Concave back, folding over, vinyasa, downward facing dog. And we'll go around on the other side. And lifting the left leg up. Dog at the high fire hydrants. Through to the lunge. And coming up in the high lunge or the warrior. And then we'll circle those arms all the way around and back up overhead. Namaste in front and into the pigeon on the left leg. Taking a few breaths in the cobra action here. And then coming forward and then bringing the hands out across from the shoulders on the pads of the fingers, maybe on the flat hands, pulling those elbows wide as we roll up, dropping the chin, rolling up, and then pulling the elbows wide, reaching forward with the collarbones and coming down twice, more like that. And then we will go the other direction, coming forward, leading up with the collarbones, dropping the chin, trying to dive down and in and out. And twice more around that direction. And then coming over, a few more breaths in the sleeping. And then coming up, reaching through the left leg, right leg, turning to Konasana, the angle pose. Nice big wide stretch out. And coming forward. And coming up. And then just assemble the legs, pivot to the front of the mat, coming up onto your feet, expanding into the forward bend. And the concave back, folding over. And then chair pose, Utkatasana, pulling the hips back, lifting from the upper and middle back into Utkatasana. And springing up, big front body yawn. And around to Namaste. And then back to Utkatasana, reaching back, reaching forward and up. And we'll figure four, bringing the left leg across. You can keep the arms forward, maybe bring the hands into Namaste, and picking the left leg. And then setting the left foot down and pouring into the forward bend. And concave back, folding over through the vinyasa, downward facing up. And breathing here. 3, 2, and 1. And then looking between the hands to jump or step forward. Into the concave back, halfway up. Folding over. And then we will just take a little step around to the horizontal center of our mats. Then the knees and toe heel our legs out into the elephant rider. And then straightening up, 3-pointed star. Pressing the arms to parallel, feet to parallel. So let's see, I'm going to be the real right and left side here, not the mirror side. And we'll rotate our right leg out 90 degrees. And into the warrior two. Inner thigh to the inner knee to the center of the foot. Dancing warrior, bringing the right arm up and away. And into the triangle, Trikonasana, straightening up that right leg, tilting. And then really reaching up through the left hand, bend the right knee, pulling into the side angle. You can bring your right hand up onto the right knee if you want. Pulling the right sitting bone down, pulling the left arm up, and then wide from the inner thighs. Maybe keeping the left arm up or bringing it over the ear. And then we'll come back up to standing, inhale and exhale. Turning the feet to parallel. Deep breath. Rotating the left leg out 90 degrees. And into the warrior number 2. On the left, the other side. And then dancing warrior, bringing that left arm up and away. And into the triangle trikonasana. And really reaching up through the right arm, bending the knee, pulling the left sitting bone down, pulling up. Maybe bringing your left arm up onto the thigh if you want. Pulling wide through the inner thighs. And then maybe the right arm is going to stay up or bringing it over the ear. And then coming up to standing, big lift up. Feet to parallel. Let's interlock the fingers behind, lifting the chest to lift the chin. Give those upper arms a little squeeze, soften the shoulders a little more. And coming over. Taking a few breaths here, breathing up through the arms. And release the hands. And then soften the knees a little, walking the feet back into the center, into our forward bend. Little quarter turn, pivot back to the front of the mat. And then bending the knees, coming down to the floor. And then coming down to the floor. All the way down. Back where we started. Inhale and exhale, feeling the weight into the floor. May have a different quality to it, at least a different quality in your mind, how it feels to you. So our body can be doing the same thing sometimes at different times, and it can feel differently depending on how we are reacting to it. Our mind is perceiving it at that moment. And let's once again, should we, I don't know, should we figure 4 or Knees to the side. Actually, I think we should knees to the side. So let's bring those legs up a little. And then dropping the knees over to the left. Making a twist to the right. You didn't really need to bring your knees up. I don't know, my brain had a little exit there. Ah. And then through the center, knees over to the right. And back to the center. And into Shavasana. Oh, it's one of our short Shavasanas. Though, of course, there at home, you can stay as long as you like. Inhale and exhale, really letting go and sinking into the floor. Feeling every moment of every breath. Expanding time with your focus and attention. And then breathing back into your body, into the room. Stretching the arms up overhead. Bend the knees. And gently making your way up to sitting in any comfortable position with a long and spacious spine. Taking another moment, sitting quietly inside yourself. And namaste. Thank you for coming.